going on, hobby family? It is your boy K-Dub. This is K-Dub's High Five, 5 rapid fire questions with your favorite hobby faces. And today we bring in one of my Twitter favorites. She is at 11 Lizzie on Twitter. This is Kelsey. Kelsey, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. It's a great day to be alive, you know. I don't know. This is my boy Noya Cardboard. He sent me a shirt, so I figured I'd wear it on the high five. So shout out to my man Noya Cardboard on Twitter for providing some swag for the high five. So um,
Nice.
how this works is I got 5 questions, all hobby related. I'm gonna throw them one right after another. You ready to take on the high five?
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Question number one. It's always nice to break the ice. At 11 Lizzie is the Twitter handle. How did you come up with that? How did you land on that? Why is that the social media handle you went by?
All right, so that was actually my Club Penguin username back in the day, kind of my first online community. My best friend came up with it because she's the one that made the account for me so we could play together after school. And that's kind of the original reason I joined Twitter to follow some of the penguin influencers of the late 2000s.
Well, you're gonna have to school me up a little bit on this Club Penguin. What are we talking about right now?
So it was originally its own kind of thing, and it was just kind of an online community video game kind of space. I know there's an actual word for it. Like it's kind of like a multiplayer online thing.
Okay.
Disney ended up buying it in like the 2010s, I think, and then it no longer exists, but it was
Oh darn.
basically a whole like online world where everyone was a penguin and you all just ran around and did stuff. You could go to the pizza shop, you could try to flip over the iceberg, like you could go to your igloo and have a party. And then there was like mini games to play and stuff like that. So it was just a big online like world basically.
Man, that sounds like so much better than the stuff that's online these days. So we need Club Penguin back. Club Penguin, sponsor the high five. I will get you back on the internet scene. So
It was good stuff.
oh, well, let's talk a little bit about collecting. So I know that you're into, certain sports, but is there an influence that you can think of in your mind as far as someone or someones who kind of influence you the most when it comes to your collecting of sports cards?
So I kind of have two, I would say, that were one was kind of a catalyst and one kind of kept me going. So my initial like catalyst that got me into the hobby was actually the owner of our LCS back in 2018. I wasn't really collecting at the time. Like I had some Pokemon cards from when I was a kid, but I was, just out of college. I wasn't really into collecting anything card related at the time,
Yeah.
but we went in for National Baseball Card Day, and the
Okay.
owner, I wasn't buying anything, but he still gave me some packs to open, and it was just like some random stuff like Panini Draft from like 2008 and
Okay.
just all kinds of crazy stuff. But I ended up pulling, I think it was Otani's rookie card out of my like free National Baseball Card Day pack, and I was just kind of hooked from there. I was like, this is really, really fun. And then so that was my catalyst, but the person that kind of kept me going in the hobby is actually my partner Trafton, because he's the reason that I was even in the card shop for National Baseball Card Day, because he's been collecting since he was a kid. He took kind of a break when he was in college and he started back up again in 2011 actually.
Okay.
And so I had been watching him open cards for a couple years at that point, and he was just like he was collecting, but I wasn't really at the time. So then when I got into it, he's the one that's always like, oh, like this new set's coming out. Like he is my personal card sorter that just keeps my collection in check, because I am very bad at having the attention span for it. I love to open cards, but when it comes to like organizing them and putting them away, I'm terrible at it. So he keeps me in line with that.
Oh, well, you know what they say, couples who collect together stay together. I mean, that is kind of a staple of the hobby couples. So that's very cool. Shout out to Trafton for making sure you get into the hobby and are ripping packs as much as possible. So very cool. And then the LCS, you want to shout them out?
They are unfortunately no longer in business. It was called
Mm,
Sports Card, etc. They
okay,
do still have a sister location, so if you Google Sports Card, etc., they're still open.
okay,
But the location we went to and the owner of that shop, we're still hoping that he'll open another shop. I think that
yeah,
was originally the goal, but then 2020 happened,
gotcha.
so
No,
we're
no.
always hopeful that Bryce is going to open another shop for us.
All right, well, Bryce, bring it back. Sports cards, etc. We'll get you some Google hits after this. So, all right, third question. When it comes to cardboard, is there, or actually, in general, collecting of sports memorabilia, sports items, or sports cards, is there a Grail item for you out there? A card that you've always wanted, or a piece of memorabilia that you've always wanted, and why is that the card or the item that you've always wanted?
So so everyone probably knows me as a huge Pirates fan, and I PC Cabrian Hayes. But I was thinking about this, and I really think that my Grail card would actually be the Stadium Club Chrome insert superfractor of Bo Bichette's rookie card
Okay.
from the regular 2020 Stadium Club set. Just that photo with the tower in the background, I just feel like that is one of the most beautifully framed shots that an MLB photographer has ever captured.
Okay.
And I don't have a single one-on-one in my collection. So I
Okay.
think that would be a massive and special addition to my personal collection.
Wow, I don't know that I've ever got that specific. That is like dialed in. Here is the card and the reason why. So, uh, is it out there? Do you know? Has it been pulled?
I'm pretty sure it has. I feel like I've seen it before on Twitter, but it's been a while. And like that 2020 Stadium Club is so coveted. Like I never actually got to rip any of it because
Mm,
things were wild in 2020 as far as like retail sports cards, and I never came across any blasters in the wild.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I ended up
Mm,
picking up, the base paper
gotcha.
on eBay after the fact. But yeah.
Hmm. All right. Well, it's out there. The hunt is on. The hunt is on. uh, all right. Fourth question for you. When it comes to product, you kind of mentioned 2020 Stadium Club, but when it comes to product, you got all the money in the world. You can rip anything you want. What are you ripping and why?
So you probably get this answer a lot from baseball collectors, but I'm gonna go with 2011 update.
Okay.
Hands down. I was not collecting at the time, and I've always loved the design of, base tops that year. It's
Okay.
just beautiful. And the fact that it has like the diamond anniversary inserts and like the other like mini diamond kind of things. There's so many cool things you could find
Mm,
in there.
yeah.
Obviously, there's lots of good rookie cards in that set, like Trout, Goldschmidt, JD Martinez. But the one I would really want would be Altuve's rookie card. He's
Okay.
another guy that I PC, and I just have a lot of respect for a fellow below average height second baseman.
The little man syndrome. That's all I think about with that guy, man. But he's got it. He's got it figured out. But very
Yeah.
cool. All right. All right. Very cool. All right. Last question for you here. Obviously, being a female collector, you have a different perspective when it comes to the hobby and collecting sports cards. There's been a little change in the hobby over the last few years, obviously, but there is a trend coming where we're seeing more female collectors coming into the hobby. As you think about when you got started in the hobby collecting, what advice would you give for female collectors, looking to get in the hobby, to become a part of the hobby?
Um, I mean, really, if cards are something you're passionate about, just lean into it. In any, space that's more male dominated, you're going to come across a couple people that don't really want you in like their space. But, for every one of those, there are easily 10 to 20 people that are going to respect you as a collector and want you to have your place at the table, share your wins, like share your disappointments. The hobby is just becoming really inclusive, and I appreciate it a lot. It's
Hmm.
definitely shifted a lot, and I think it's becoming a better space for anybody who wants to collect. No matter how old you are, there's so many young kids that are getting into the hobby,
Absolutely.
boys and girls, and I just think it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of different communities that if you're a little like timid about it, I know that a couple women have put together a Facebook group that is called Women in the Hobby.
Okay.
And then I also run a little like subgroup on Twitter. We just have a group chat, but it's the Cardboard and Nails Club, and we just talk
Okay.
about cards. And if you like doing nail art, or you just think nails are cool,
Yeah.
yeah.
That sounds fantastic. I noticed your nails, so I noticed you got some nail swag going on there. Very nice, very nice.
Yep.
Uh, well, hey, let me throw a bonus question at you here, just because you brought up kind of the females of Twitter. Are there any female accounts that you would recommend? Obviously, yours at 11 Lizzie, but are there any other female accounts out there that you would recommend checking out if you are a female getting in the hobby, or just a male looking to connect with different collectors?
Yeah, I know this is probably a big one, but Sue's, she's Yang's chick on Twitter. I believe she's also on Instagram. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
She used to work for Tops, like used to work. I'm trying to think where she works now. She worked at Golden at one point. Like she's very connected in the hobby. She knows her
She's
stuff.
breaking cards for roadshow cards now too. So yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and then I'm trying to think, there's a couple other people. I know Anna, she's really big into the San Diego Chicken mascot
Oh, yep,
cards.
yep,
Yeah,
yep,
she's also a Braves fan.
yep.
And then there's a couple other people in the women in or the Cardboard and Nails Club that I would just shout out to all of them. I believe 712's in there. I'm so bad with names. I just know
Right.
everybody is their Twitter username.
All
Like
right.
when you sent me the Zoom link, I was like, who's
Who?
this? Like
Who?
where's Caleb?
Oh, well, if there are females watching this and you want to get connected, I do recommend, reaching out to Kelsey on Twitter. Become a part of that circle, that community that she was kind of speaking of. It's really a special place. And it sounds like you guys have a pretty special community that's kind of geared around more female collectors. So kudos to you guys. That's really, really cool. So all right, hey, that's all I got. You cleared the list. So we got a high five. Throw up them fancy nails for me. High five at the end of the high five. You can check her out on Twitter at 11 Lizzie. Like I said, reach out to her, holler at her for information about her female collecting groups she has on Twitter. Pretty cool. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter at Mr. K-Dub. Shout out to the endorsers, Buck City Breaks, Rack of the Day, Eric Hecker on Twitter. Thanks so much for joining me. As always, be the good in the world, and we'll catch you guys next time on the next high five.